Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
And we serve as the voice to the Toubou Black community.
Again, we got Dr. Candace Matthews.
A lot of these documents, looking at.
This country is supposed to be about the land of the free for all. It has not been free for Black people, and we are tired.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
This one move could change Africa forever. How can a continent with everything, act like it has nothing? We're sitting on 30% of the world's natural resources. We feed the world, we fuel the world, and still we beg the world. So recently, Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu made a statement that caught my attention. And in truth, it's not just a political comment. It's a call to consciousness. He was speaking at the West African Economic Summit that just wrapped up. And he said, and I quote, "Intra-regional trade remains under 10%, a challenge that we can no longer afford to ignore. The low trade is not due to a failure of will, but a coordination failure." And let me just pause there for a moment, because he's right. West Africa and Africa at large has been caught in a trap. Not because we lack resources, not because we lack brilliance, but because we lack unity, and we need to talk about it. We don't trade amongst ourselves, we don't trust ourselves, and we don't prioritize ourselves. Instead, we look outward. We dig from our soil only to export it raw and then buy it back for 10 times the price. That's not a value chain. That's a value loss. That's a value exploitation, in fact. Now imagine what could happen if we flipped the entire scope. Imagine if African countries begin to trade with each other first. Imagine if we process our resources right here on this soil. Imagine if we stop begging global powers for crumbs and instead we sat at the table with our own full weight. President Tinubu continued, and I quote, "Rather than competing in isolation or relying on external partners, we must strengthen our regional value chains, invest in infrastructure, and coordinate our policies." And that right there is the real revolution. That's exactly what we're waking up to right now as Africans. Because when we talk about Africa rising, it's not just poetic. It's not just hopeful, like in the future. It's strategic, and it is now. And African countries are doing that now. Listen, Black people globally, from the US to the Caribbean, from the UK to Brazil, have one common thread: disempowerment by division. It's been the number one tool of colonizers and oppressors. Divide the continent, divide the race, divide the people, divide the diaspora. Pit tribe against tribe, nation against nation, skin tone against skin tone. But let me tell you something. The moment we come together unapologetically and intentionally is the moment we become unstoppable as the Black nation. And we can't talk about this without mentioning Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. What he's doing right now, taking a bold stand against neocolonial influence, reclaiming national resources and prioritizing sovereignty. This is the kind of energy that Africa needs more of, actually, right? If that influence spreads across Africa, if more African leaders begin to act with that level of courage and clarity, then strengthening intra-African trade wouldn't just be a possibility. It will become inevitable, because we can't build true regional power while we're still leaning on the very systems that actually exploited us. We need leadership that is not afraid to say Africa first, Africa forward. And I'm glad that President Tinubu is making this bold statement and this bold declaration. We need to have been, in fact, we needed to have been doing this years ago. If Africa strengthens intra-regional trade, if we build African industries for African roots, if we finally believe in African potential and own our value from start to finish, then we stop being a passive player in the global economy and we become a force that the world must reckon with. And that's exactly what's happening. In fact, you already see the result. This isn't just about trade. It's about liberation. Because a united Africa doesn't just lift Africans, it lifts the global Black race. It means more leverage, more dignity, more power, and more pride for us and the generations coming after us. So the question now is, will we rise together, not individually? Or are we going to keep handing over our gold for scrap simply because we can't coordinate ourselves? We need to stop acting like competitors and start acting like kin, because the West will never save us. The East will never prioritize us. But if we unite, we will say and we will build ourselves. And it will be a ripple effect across the Black nation, across the world. My name is Ify Igwe, reporting from Nigeria. What are your thoughts about this? Please drop your thoughts in the comment section. See you on the next.